All right, good afternoon. Welcome to New York session. I hope you're doing well. Okay, thank you for joining us one more time. Today is Tuesday. Um, Today is Tuesday, 25th February 2024, 2025. And I hope you're having a good afternoon. Right, let's look at the market as usual, starting with the dollar index. Now, yesterday we talked about this area potentially rejecting price. Let me go to the H4, H1. This area rejecting price. You can see how price rejected away from it, right? We had the Tuesday high taking out Monday and then gap through or closing through the gap. So that's the opening gap right here. Okay, that's the opening gap. That's Tuesday, or quote unquote midnight, and then market gap to that level. What level is that? Is the fair value gap on the daily. So if you go into the daily, this is what it is, right? Is the gap on the daily. So that's where we anticipate the high of the week to form. And this, to me, trading like this is the best thing ever. Okay, when you have the directional bias, one, whether up or down, then two, you start anticipating some form of manipulation to happen when the week starts. So the reason why we are seeing what we are seeing, and especially with what happened with the majors yesterday, is all about understanding the manipulation or the power of three. Okay, which is if we are expecting price to go lower, then Monday, Tuesday should trade higher. And you see it here, Monday trading higher. So we open, we went down. That's not what we want. Okay, we want it to go up, and that's what happened by the end of the day. And that is why most of the time I do recommend, highly recommend, that traders should actually sit on your hands on Mondays, because Monday can be one of those days that price can do anything. Okay, price can do anything, and it will still be valid to go in a direction that you expect it to go, right? There's your proof. And he has done it consistently for the last 3 weeks, if I can say 4 or 3. Yeah, it started from here. When we opened, that was Friday, that was Monday, right? Monday gapped up crazy, and then it went right back down. Why? Because that's how the weekly candle is supposed to form. Then the following week, that's Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, same thing. Then last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, same thing. And then this week, Monday, Tuesday. So it's a pattern that repeats itself more often than not. Okay, it repeats itself more often than not. Hence, when you are looking to trade, okay, you need to be aware of this. And it's something that happens on all time frames. But if you always look at it from the, I would say, the daily and up, that would be the best, because the higher the time frame, the better. So when you're doing this, when you're looking at what I'm saying in terms of understanding the movement in price, always look at it from the higher time frame perspective. So you look at the weekly, you look at the daily, you look at the monthly, you look at the quarterly. and then based on how we close, we then decide what is going to happen next. So we're expecting price to continue going lower from here, right? Okay. Now, since we've actually tapped into that target, I'm just expecting them to go and attack the low again. Okay, so let's drop down to the H4. I'm expecting them to go and attack this low again, right? So that comes in at 106.12. That's the target that I'm expecting price to go to. All right, that's the target I'm expecting price to go to. So dollar index, we are looking for continuation to the downside. Now, if you look at the last, I think 2 weeks ago or last week, I think that was 2 weeks ago, probably last week, I gave a trade idea on New Zealand. Okay, that was right here. And when price was moving, that's when we were looking to buy. And today, the trade got activated. So we actually in a profitable trade on the New Zealand dollar, because again, last week closed bullish, so we are anticipating this week to also be bullish. And we have Monday, Tuesday trading down into an area where we predefined, I think, to, let me see, yeah, I think that was last week when the big move was happening. When this move was happening, I found that level on the 1 hour, and I wanted to see price retrace to that level and then we go up again. Something that I've mentioned several times: do reverse engineering. Okay, if this is a big if the week ends, okay, when this if this week it ends as this being the low of the week, okay, then what does that give you? What does that level give you? Right, it gives you something, the ability to know where price will retrace back to most of the time. Why? Because it's specific. It's not random that price is rejecting here. And the reason why I know that is when the week starts, when we open a new candle, and I'm using the weekly because it works so much better on the weekly. When you have the high time frame direction, when you know where the high time frame is going, it works like clockwork on the weekly time frame, right? Because what you do is you just gonna go through the previous week price action, right? You go through the previous week price action, and then you find levels that price should have retraced to, because there's always going to be a potential move. There's always going to be some form of a expansion, right? And that expansion should come with a retracement, right? Let's say, oops, this is an expansion, right? It should come with some form of a retracement. So if price does not retrace, then the level that price was meant to retrace to should be highlighted. Okay, you should highlight that area and then wait, because there's a high probability that price will come back to that level since we did not come back to it. And most of the time, these levels are going to be where there are big moves happening. So where price moves aggressively and price does not retrace over the course of the week. The following week, that's where price will retrace back to and then resume going up. Anyway, enough. So we are in the trade, but it's gonna have to break this up candle for us to really start enjoying the continuation to the upside. As I'm looking and I'm watching on the lower time frame to see if we can break above this up candle that's when I'll get really confident that we're gonna go up yet. So now it's not really confirmed yet. We've just come back into that area. But for me to be confident that we are going higher, we need to break that up candle. Okay. So let's see if we can break that up candle and then we start going up. I think in terms of trade ideas, that's the one that we have for this week. Because this is the last week of the month, hence price is not gonna give us much. We might have maybe some form of manipulation. So let's see, right? Let's see. Just enter the trade, leave it alone, and then we see what will happen. British pound, I'm not really looking forward for this to go up because we took out previous week high and then we broke down, so we might possibly get some weakness in pound. Okay, we might possibly get some weakness in pound because we've actually traded above previous week high and rejected. So this fair value gap here, it's going to be a problem for the continuation to the upside for British pound. Okay, it's going to be a problem for British pound. Hence, I would recommend staying away from the British pound. Euro, we are still in a trade on Euro. We've actually got our first target. Euro couldn't break this down candle, so I think between pound and Euro be the best one if you are trading. As a matter of fact, it actually gave a nice rejection over here on the lower time frame. I was watching this whole morning, and I bought. I'll show you the one that I placed in terms of trade ideas that I personally took when I saw the dollar index going down. Because whenever you see dollar index giving you a move, you can get a trade idea on any of the majors, but you have to choose which one. So the one that I preferred, or the one that I took, was the Australian dollar. And the reason why I took Australian dollar is because it actually went below previous week low. So if you look on the we attacked a previous week low, and below that previous week low we had a nice fair value gap, and on top of that, on the 15 minutes, I'm sorry, on the 5 minutes, we had a nice buy pattern happen at that level. So if you look over here, we had the up candle, big drop, and then price rejected. So as I was watching, out of all the majors, this one caught my attention, and I bought this candle right here. Okay, and then you can see where we are now. So out of the majors, that's the one that I preferred based on how price was trading on all of them. Because if we attack a previous week low, then it's going to be injection of liquidity. That is why I prefer the Australian dollar out of the euro. I could have bought euro, but if you look at the price action on euro on the 5 minutes, okay, it did give a pattern but not clean. If you look at New Zealand, it gave a pattern but not clean enough. It is there but not clean. If you look at British pound, it didn't even give a pattern to buy, right? Hence, this was the best one. That's why I got in that. Okay, but is it gonna go up? Possibly, but it's going to again depend on how we break above this up candle. So he can it's gonna depend on how we break this up candle. So let's see, right? I would want to see them break it. that's when I'll buy more if they break it. Let me say it that way. So let's see. If they can break it, then I'll buy more. Or quote unquote, if they break it, then you can also buy because you've missed the actual buy. So if they break this, you can buy on New Zealand. If they break if they break this high, then if you've missed that entry, then you can also buy there. Okay. I think pretty much that's that for these pairs. Eurocad. Okay. So Eurocad, I think I mentioned that I'm still expecting them to go lower. I'm expecting a high of the week to form because all that is doing is just pulling back. Okay, and they've left some nice equal lows here. So probably it might do it this week. It might form the high of the week on Thursday. So keep watching Eurocad because it's coming up into premium. Watch the 618 to the 79 70 retracement level. Let me drop down to the one now. I apologize. So I have two screens, right? The screen that I'm using right now, it's not clean enough, as in I struggle to see on that screen. That's why I'll mostly use the big one all the time. That's why I use the big one all the time because I can't see properly with the smaller one. So sometimes you see me squeezing it and making it bigger because this screen is a little bit too small for me. I like the big one. Okay, so I have to sometimes zoom in like this to be able to see. So this is the area I'm expecting price to trade to right here. Okay, either the low or above it. Right there and then you can start looking for a sell pattern to form. So it's either they'll do it today, tomorrow, whichever day they do it, we are waiting for it. Okay, so when we do get it, this equal low here will be the target because they've engineered that. Okay, and it's something that it's normal. I've seen this happen over and over again. You're meant to be coming for this low, but they will sometimes reject, go up, get a lot of people wrong, which I did get it wrong here because I didn't expect them to do it, but they've done it, so we know what's up. When it gets up there, we look for a sell to form and then we go down. If you look at the RSI, you see that we are overbought already, right? Which under normal circumstance that shouldn't happen. If we are here and this is up there, that's a huge divergence, right? So this, I know I don't like using indicators, but I do use them when the market situation requires, like this. Let me show you how to use RSI. So use RSI when we are inside a range like this, and then it gets here, and then you want your RSI to be in overbought or this condition. We are here, and then your RSI is showing oversold. That's the best time to use RSI inside a range. If you're using RSI outside a range, if you're using RSI outside a range, you're doing it all wrong. Okay, so that is the condition to use RSI, and you can see how diverged it is. And you are not using actually the indicator, we are just using price, but the indicator will support that idea because indicators do work. Okay, they do work because if you look at every overbought and oversold, there is some kind of a movement that happens, right? But if you can time it and then trade it at the right time, then that's when you get the right indicator, I would say signal, right? So there you go. You've learned something new today. So that'll be a trade for either this week or next week, right? Big reward coming. They're gonna take out this low and then potentially that one. So massive reward. Um, this stop out is fine. We get a bigger one. Next, let's go to gold. Okay. So I think gold, I've said it, that where we are now, I don't trust continuation to the upside because we are extremely high. Plus, we are not actually displacing. It goes up, it takes a high, it comes back in, it takes a low, goes up, takes a high, comes back in. So yesterday, when we rejected, the close above yesterday's high should have by now sent price up, especially with the dollar index dropping. The fact that that is not happening is a sign, and we are in February. There's always a seasonal high that forms in February. I was going to show you one of my seasonal tendencies chart, but I'll do that maybe next time for you to see and understand why this is happening. Because there's always a potential for a seasonal high to form in February. So if you understand seasonalities, then what is happening right now is not random. It's actually something that is predictable, right? So when we get to times like this, you need to be patient and don't expect any big movement in price when it comes to the upside on gold. Okay, so going forward, let's see, because I think we might be forming a seasonal high. The RSI is way, and this is all-time high, so there's nothing to compare or to look on your left to see whether we are going to reverse or not, right? So there's nothing to confirm that someone is selling up here unless they give us the signal, and right now they've not given any signal. It's just paused. So just be mindful. Don't be too confident in price going higher, because if you do, you're just gonna be regretting it. If it gives a buy pattern, trade it, but if it doesn't, don't force it. Okay. As a matter of fact, if we break this down candle here, which it looks like we might be doing that, okay, if we break this down candle here, I think price will trade to this level and then even probably take out this. It's huge. It's huge. I don't know how to say it, but there's too much pressure bubbling up in terms of moving lower. Okay, you can see the RSI on the H4. We are up here, but this is down here, and it might come probably in the form of a flash, one quick down candle drop, and it'll flash everything out. Okay, so just be mindful. Plus, again, it's end of the month, so the monthly candle is gonna form the high. Just be careful. And in some of the lessons that I teach, I talk about the closing price relative to the high. The closing price relative to the high, especially with where we are now. This closing price, this month closing price is very crucial as to how next month is going to trade. Okay, and on the daily, that down candle is important. If we close through it, which again, if we go through the down candle on the daily, we are likely to do that. But if we close, the keyword is close. If we close, then this high here is likely going to stay, and then the month of March will drop into somewhere here. the month of March will drop somewhere here. Okay, so if we end up, start with the daily. If we close like this, then the next month you can predict how it's going to trade. It's gonna, the first 2 weeks or 3 weeks is gonna drop into this area. To be specific, right in here, right in there. Okay, and it might even go lower than that, but that'll be what I'll look for. If we close below that candle, I'll look for gold to drop to 2008 and 33. Okay, all right, so that's good. Big for gold sellers. Crude oil is still not doing anything that I like so far. So it seems that this year the seasonality might not, we'll see, because it's too early to conclude, but it's not showing any buy pattern so far yet, because it needs to show, at least if they're going to go up, it needs to show us some buy pattern, but it's not. So this low is likely going to be taken today. I'm going to take that low, and then we will see. And I don't think they will drop and then they'll start going up. I doubt it. Okay, I highly doubt that that's going to happen, that they will drop and then it will reject and go up. I don't see that happening. So maybe what I wanted to see, which is the rejection below this candle's low, is not going to happen. So we will end the month like this, and then we open the new month, probably take out this month low, and then we start going back up. That would be the other alternative that can happen. So this week can end as a down candle, and then next week we can look for a run below this month low, then rejection, then we start coming back up. Okay, so day trade to attack this low, or scalp to come and attack this low here. Right, cool. Yes, yesterday, what an event. As soon as we finished the session, price just collapsed down to attack that low, which was likely going to happen, but I wanted them to form a high first. So this is not a good sign, even though it's good, but it's not a good sign for lower prices for this week. But we are likely still going to take out this low and trade to this level, right? Because the month is ending, we are rejecting the high, so they will definitely take out this low. They will take out currently February's low, which is this one. That's where price is going. So look for sells on ES. Okay, the high of the week, in my opinion, has not formed yet. I don't see this as the high of the week. So let's see how today will close, because if we don't form a high, which is an up candle on Monday, Tuesdays are sometimes guaranteed to form the low and then go up and then form a high on Thursday. Then we start rejecting. So my humble opinion is, be careful going short, because when the week starts, if we are bearish like we were yesterday, we should at least have printed an up candle. That's why yesterday I was looking for that move to the upside, so that we can end at least Monday as an up candle, and then Tuesday we start going down. But that did not happen. So what is happening right now, to me, it's not a great sign for a continuation to the downside. Now, I can be wrong, maybe 2 p.m. Who knows? Someone will come in and then drop it down. But that's fine. I'm not chasing that. I'm not interested in that. That's basically how I trade. Okay? There are some rules that needs to be followed. And if those rules don't meet what you're expecting, you don't do anything. What are those rules? If I'm going to be selling for the week, the Monday should at least trade up. Period. Okay, if I'm going to be trading for the week, Monday should at least trade up. If we don't, then the Tuesday, price coming back up, I'm not selling any pullback. And I think I gave you an example on Euro Aussie. Yeah, same thing. Monday, I was bearish. Monday, trade down. Tuesday, rejects Monday's low, and comes up, forms the high on a Thursday. Then we go down. Right? So the same thing. It's just a rule that I follow. Okay, so if you don't understand that rule, it might feel like, okay, it's going down, let's sell. This is just my, small little opinion. If you take it, it help. If you don't, you might be right once, twice, but the algorithm will let you know that it controls price. So, I'll leave it there. We'll see. Do they go up or do they go down? I'm not interested. Okay. That's the bottom line. I'm not interested in whatever it's doing now. If we come up here, I'm interested in selling short. But where we are, I'm not. And I'm not interested in buying either. It's so funny sometimes the way price work. You can't buy and you can't sell. You just have to sit and watch and observe. I mean, you can scalp on the lower time frame, but again, not worth it. Okay, let's go on to cryptos and start with A1, AI16. I think AI16, I don't have to say much because it's going to be the same thing, right? Buy as much as you can and then just leave it. That's going to be the anthem until we start pushing aggressively higher, and then I'll say, I told you so. That's what I'm waiting for. In case you're wondering, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that big push, like this big one candle, and I'll be like, I told you so. Okay. Right now, okay, might not feel like it, but when it prints it, then it will feel like it. And I like the way the average trader understands the market. That when it's going up, that's the time to buy. But when it's dropping, it's not good to buy. Okay. I'm not saying go and buy every drop, but there are drops that will trade to certain levels that you can buy. Okay, so right now what I'm looking for is one big push, one big candle, and then everybody and their grandmother would want to buy it. That's when even the uncle that does not understand trading, that's when they step into the market. Can you teach me how to buy? Okay, so that's AI16. Now let's go to Solana. So I was asleep and I woke up and I saw like these big drop. Not yet that one, because it happened overnight. Sorry, not that one. This one here. I got a message from one of my colleague, Igor. Look at the market. it took a beating. And then I watched, because I didn't look at this all morning. I was paying attention to more of the currencies than the crypto market, right? So when I checked, I saw huge, not this one. This one happened yesterday. That one was minus, I think, 5 or something. I was like, okay, I think the month of March, oh, sorry, the month of February is closing, and it's called the end of month shenanigans. When I think Monday, I said this week you will see some manipulation, right? That's how it looks like. Now, every month, there is this kind of big move that happen. If you study price, the first week and the last week, these 2 weeks is prone to big moves happening, which is in the form of a manipulation. Why? The first week could be used to manipulate price to form a high. The last week could be used to manipulate to form the low if we are bearish, or vice versa. If you're bullish, the first week could be manipulated to form a low, then the last week could be manipulated to form a high. So the aggressive run down is what will trip everybody to close their longs, and then it will reject, and then it'll form a low. Then the last week, the aggressive run up will trip everybody to close their shorts, and then it'll reject, and then it'll form a high. Okay, so I anticipated a manipulation, but not this big, right? Not this big. So in my opinion, this is a sign. This is a sign someone has stepped in. Whenever you see these big candles, that is the sign that someone with big money or elephant in the room. Sorry guys, the elephant in the room, okay, that's them. So now the question is, who and what are they doing? Are they buying or are they selling? That's the question you need to ask. When you see the big candle, that's the first question you need to ask. Are they buying or are they selling? Because if an elephant steps in, it has an objective, because it's not going to step in for no reason. And if you did watch the video that I recommended last time, I think it was it Friday? I think it was Friday. I recommended a video to watch about this guy talking about how much money some people have sitting down that needs to be put to work. Okay, how much money some people have sitting down that needs to be put to work. It means that that money has to be traded. Okay, now when they are trading, they are not going to trade like you and I. They are not going to trade like you and I. They're going to trade like this. Like, let me find these candles. The big ones prior to the turning around. That's how they come in. They are not going to come in when it's... The only time they come in again is the accumulation or distribution. That's when they come in again. So if price is turning around, they come in at the last turning point, because that big move opposite to where it goes, that's them. That's how they get their position filled. So whenever the elephant steps in, the first question you need to ask is, are they buying or they selling? So in here, That's an elephant. That big candle is an elephant. So the question is, are they buying or they are selling? If they are buying, then this gap here will be closed. They will trade through it. Okay, if they are buying this gap here, they will trade through it. If they are not, they will keep going down. So that's how you identify them. Okay, on the daily time frame like this. It happens on all time frames, but I'm referring to the daily right now. If they are going down, if they are going to go up, they will trade through this. If they are not, then it will continue going down. It will come back in and it will continue going down. But if they are buying, it will trade through it. So that's when you will know. I think I've shown examples over here when they did it on the lower time frame. If you go into the H4, that big drop that happened, as soon as they trade through the gap over there, that's it. That's them buying. Then you know. Okay. So here, the same thing. That drop on the daily, unless they trade through this gap, price is gonna stay below that. So as it stands, right now, Solana will keep dropping until we see any rejection through this gap here. That will be your confirmation price is going higher, and it's gonna require, I think, next month. And I keep saying next month. I don't know why, but March usually is a time of the year you get some big moves to the upside for some reason. I was speaking to one of my students, and he thinks that it's due to the tax return that happens in most of these major countries. So if that's the case, then between March and April, those 2 months, there's a lot of tax returns that happens in major countries. Like in UK, I think tax return is in April. I don't know about the States. I don't know about other countries, but I know in UK, tax return is in April. Hence, April is one of the months that you can close your eyes and then buy British pound for some reason. It just goes up every April. Okay, so same thing here. Let's see if we will open next month. This month is done, but let's see if next month will open and we start showing the signs that they're buying. Now, is it going to reverse from here? I don't think so, because there are some lows here. This one, and that one that are too clean. Not this one. Okay, this one is a higher low. It's high resistance. High resistance. High resistance. Okay. Nevertheless, it can go for it. I'm not saying it can, but if it does, then we want to see a quick rejection. But these ones are all lower highs. Like this. So too clean. Hence this particular one is likely gonna be taken. So I don't think the downside on Solana is done. We might go for 120, and then maybe the rejection can happen. If it happens here, I'm not unless they trade through this gap, then I'll probably think we are reversing. If not, then that's not a reversal. They will just pull back into this one and then drop one more time here. Okay, so 120.95, I think that's where Solana will be reaching for. Bitcoin also went and attacked this, which again, from the weekly and monthly perspective, is still not changed. It has not changed the upside. It has not changed the upside in terms of buying. It's just the same idea that happened here. Okay, they're just accumulating. That's all. Now, it makes trading a little bit difficult for people to understand, because the average trader does not understand certain things about price. So when price is not doing what they're expecting, they give up. Okay. When price is not doing what they're expecting, they give up. But that's why it's one of the, I'll say, the hardest. For me, it's not hard because I've gone through a lot and I've learned all the lessons, especially the patient aspect. If you've not experienced the market the way I have, then it's gonna feel like the market is always punishing you, but it's not. You just need to understand that the market will not do what you think it should do. Okay, the market is not gonna do what you think it should do. It's gonna do what it's gonna do, right? And if it's gonna do what it's gonna do, then you need to understand some things about what it does. One of them is when price is going up, there will be times that it will move into a consolidation or it will move into a pullback. So if your prime objective is buying, when it's doing that, it might feel as if that the market is against you. Okay, it might feel like the market is against you, but it's not. It's just doing a normal, normal movement. But you think it's supposed to do what you think it's supposed to do. So here, what I think it's doing is just reaccumulation. That's all. Okay, and it usually happens after big moves. So we have a market maker buy model. The way the algorithm, or the way I've seen it working, is it's gonna consolidate, it's gonna move aggressively. If you miss that and then you get in here, that this is what drives the uncles and the grandma into the market. After the big move, it excites the public. It brings everybody in. And as soon as it does, that's it. It's not gonna move again. So I did learn I learned this from ICT some time ago. Um, whenever you hear whenever you hear listen to this carefully, and it proves to be right. Whenever you hear someone that has absolutely no concept about trading ask you, especially when it comes to the cryptos, whenever you hear someone ask you something about cryptos, because currencies, they don't make too much noise on currencies anymore, because when the British pound rallies, I don't think the average Joe or grandmother cares about if British pound rallies or not. But the cryptos is the hot cake right now. Whenever you hear someone that has no concept about trading come to you, or it becomes something in the public domain, Bitcoin is all-time high. When they start making that noise, that is the time to be careful, because that usually happens after the rally is done. Okay, that usually happens after the rally is done. So anytime I hear someone that has no trading idea, concept about trading, come to me, I know that the market is done. And it happened here, it happened here, and it's happening right now. It's not done. When I say done, I mean it's not done going up, but it enters into a phase of accumulation. Okay, it goes into a phase of where price is not gonna continue, it will pause and then reaccumulate, and then they will all fall off again. All the grandmothers and all those that came in thinking that crypto is going to the moon, right in here, they give up, they fall off, and then it goes up again, and then they'll come back, and then they'll fall off. Mark what I'm saying, and then you see. Okay, the average grandmother will not come to crypto when it was down here, or the average Joe will not come to cryptos when it was down here, or when it was down here, or even right now. Nobody wants to know about crypto. Okay. Ask someone about cryptos right now and they say, oh, it's going to shit. Sorry for my language. But that's the best time to be in. Okay. I think I've talked too much. Anyway. So yeah, I think it's just reaccumulating. All you need to do is understand the high time frame. That's it. So there is a pattern that the market does. It goes up, it goes into a consolidation, which is accumulation. It goes up, it goes into a consolidation, it's accumulation, and it does it all the time. All the time. So your job is to figure out when it's doing it. Then it's either you sell or you sit and wait. That's why I said this month will end up as a down candle because it's reaccumulating. They will reaccumulate with a down candle. It will not be an up candle. When price is going up, the accumulation is in the form of a down candle. Okay, and then it will resume going up. Because when the accumulation is forming inside that down candle, that's when the quote unquote elephant is buying. Because all the which animal is all the flies, okay, all the flies will be selling because they want to get off, and then the elephant will be buying from them. That's my little analogy. This one I've never liked it anyway. I think this equal law, I said it several times, they will come for it, and I've never liked this one anyway, so I'll leave it alone. They will go for it. They will go for that law. So if you want to trade, sell Ethereum to attack these lows. Hype. So hype went through the low and is currently rejecting. Is it good time to buy? Yes, if you want to. Okay, that's the best time to buy. Not buying to go to the moon, but buying to potentially come up into the consolidation again. So on the lower time frame, you can look for a buy pattern to form. Let me see if I can find one right now. Yeah, we have to move down, rejection, so buying, and then come back into that area because I don't think it's expanding anywhere. If it was going to expand to the lower side, it should not be rejecting as it is. It should just close aggressively below. So I think a day trade buy here to go up, probably to attack yesterday's high, or just hold it and then see if you can get a continuation to trade up here. Ripple still in that consolidation. Let me go to the weekly. Ripple, I know it's the same thing. It's just reaccumulating on the monthly time frame. Nothing more, nothing less. So this month will still end as a down candle, and then we will see next month. If we closed like this, then we will probably look for this high as a target, as a reaccumulation forming. Now I've taught you, right? It consolidates, it expands, it reaccumulates, and then it expands again. So there will be another expansion. It's just a matter of time. When? Now, the accumulation sometimes can be 2, maximum 3. So they can print 3 down candles. Usually not like this, because if it's like this, it's supposed to be just 1 and then go up. But if it's going to be 3, you see one small one here, and then another small one there, and then it will reject and then start going up like that. If you want to see how it looks like, I'll show you. Not on this pair, because this has now begun. So some of you that are wondering, this is the initial consolidation. This here, all that consolidation, and this is the first push. So this will be quote unquote the first accumulation that's forming, and most of the time it'll form with 3 or 2. So you have one, then one big push, then you have two, then you have one more big push, and then that's it. Then after three, you can start anticipating the one big push that will be a manipulation to now cause a retracement. That's the quote unquote. That's how I've seen every move that is significant, that is institutionally driven. That's how it looks like. Right? So it's the first push away from a consolidation, then it will accumulate, then it will push again, then it will accumulate, then it will push again. Then at that point, price will either pull back or it will make one more push and then reverse. So Ripple is in its first stage of accumulation. Then we expect a push, but the accumulation can be 2 or 3 down candles. Hopefully just one, and then we push to the upside. Right? So whatever happens, we will continue going up. It's just a matter of time. Okay, it's a 2-0. I'm gonna say the same thing that I said for AI. Jeep, buy as much as you can before it's too late, before you start seeing the big candles going up. Right now, there's nothing here to key off from on the left. So this where we are now is investors territory. Okay, day trading, scalping, you're not, we don't need you here. This is investors territory. Selling, not recommended. Absolutely not. Buying, yes, but you buy with a different mindset. Okay, you buy with a different mindset. Don't buy expecting it to go to the moon tomorrow, because that's not gonna happen. Okay, and then last one, touch key. I think I did give you what I'm expecting. Yeah, to there, and then that's it. All right, so pretty much that is all I have for today. In terms of trade ideas, I think I've mentioned watch the New Zealand, watch the Aussie if it gives you the break, and you can look for a buy. Yes, just wait. I don't think you're supposed to be doing much on it. Again, it's entirely up to you if you want. I can't force it. And then I think Eurocat. Okay, that's the best one. That's the one that I'm hunting for the high of the week to form, because again, if we were supposed to go lower, if we were supposed to go higher for the week, then when we open, we should have gone down first. The fact that we open and we started going up is a huge sign that we will form a high of the week, right? It's just a matter of when, which I think it might be tomorrow or Thursday. Typically Thursday. Okay, when you're expecting the high of the week to form, most of the time in these scenarios it forms on Thursday. So you might get tomorrow to go up, and then Thursday we get the reversal. And if it happens, we're here, and then we will see. Okay, so that is it from me for now. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time. Take care. Adios.